that a fair question to ask how long it took to build that house?
That particular house, yeah, I did it a lot part-time. It took like 4 months just to do the log work.
Oh, it did?
Yeah. But there's a lot of difficult log work in it too with the arches. The arches are difficult because they're hard to lay out and they're hard to cut and you have to sand them all. And they just take time, you know.
Well, that's one of the things in showing your planer with the curved bed on it, that there's a tool that works.
Right.
For so much of it, there's not a tool.
That's right. Exactly.
So
yeah.
it's true craftsmanship and handiwork with whatever item you can make work
That's
to
right.
do the job.
That's right. Yeah. Those were designed by an engineer. We don't have to take these and set them up on that line like we did the other ones.
Okay.
These, no matter where you move them, are always plumb and always level. And these rotate, so if you happen to hit on a log, you can move it, but they're on the same axis, so it stays exactly the same.
Oh.
They're expensive, but save a lot of time.
And
These are ink blot pens,
yeah,
you know?
just like the drafting.
Right,
yeah.
exactly. And, you know, they mark wet wood, they do really well.
So you've got to keep your eye on those level bars.
I got to keep my eye on both of those.
Yeah. One eye on one on the other.
You got it. And basically, we just stick it in there till she hits. Keep your eyes on the bubbles. Trying to keep them both in there.
Okay.
That is my largest opening plus a quarter.
Plus a quarter.
That's what it came out to. It actually came out to about 3 inches.
Yeah,
which
right.
is this setting
that
right here.
part,
Yeah.
3 inches.
And this is the notch setting, which is 7/16 of an inch or less.
7/16, yeah.
Yeah. Just you do the inside, Timmy?
Yeah.
Inside's all done?
All set.
Okay. And we're knifing right along that line.
So it's not going to flake the grain up or anything.
That's right. Exactly. Any man that works with wood would know that.
And that's why when you're cutting a finished board with a skill saw, you cut it from the back side.
Yeah.
And when you punch a hole in slate, you punch it from the back side.
Yeah.
A lot of little tricks.
they're handmade, you know what I mean? And my first ones I bought off from a blacksmith out of British Columbia, but now you can order them out of a books. They're a Log Home Supply Company out of Minnesota. Those are flat areas that these notches slide down over. That's a scarf, and these are slicks to smooth them.
Log homes being built now than, say, 20 years ago? Of
I
this
believe
style?
so. It's just, you know, it's really big in British Columbia and the West, you know. A lot of you movie stars have log homes out there, but it's just starting to catch on around here, you know, people realizing that they're a real healthy house, you know what I mean?
And what is the purpose for the point down the middle?
It's just makes it a triple seal. If you wad that full of fiberglass, you know what I mean? You got a seal here. It's sitting on between the scribe line and this.
Right.
It's expanding foam. Same on the inside. And we wad this full of fiberglass, and that actually pushes right down into the fiberglass and makes a triple seal. Good, I think, isn't it?
In preparing one of those, you couldn't, two people couldn't do two in a day.
Not in preparing them, no.
It's almost a day.
Two guys can do one of these logs in about 3 to 3.5 hours if they're all clean and ready to go.
But counting the peeling
Oh,
of it,
no.
and it
Takes at least an hour.
yeah.
If you're going to draw shave it, it'd take 2 men 2 hours to do one of these logs, just to draw shave it clean. And then wash it, and then all the good stuff.
And then to reassemble it again, but putting the insulation and everything in, there's another.
About a week on site.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do it all with a crane. Take them right off the trailers and set them around across the logs that they're going to sit on, roll them up, insulate them, plop them down, go on to the next.
And then there'll be a finish coat of something put on it to protect it.
3 coats.
3 coats.
Yeah. Be
And there's some options to that, is
yeah,
there, for
yeah, different colors.
coloring?
Yeah, yeah. Shine or no shine, you can have pretty much anything you want with that water-based stuff nowadays.
And then that needs to have a periodic.
Every 3 to 4 years.
3 to 4 years.
Yep.
There's no caulking in
No.
this.
No, no chinking.
Because some cabins, I guess, you caulk and you
Some-
caulk
yeah.
and you caulk.
Yeah, they're much cheaper to build, you know what I mean, the chinkers. Some people like it, but you know, this is my preference.
But it takes a long time to get that one piece in its place, but the interior and exterior finished surface, for all practical purpose, outside of the painting, cosmetics, or whatever, are done
Yeah,
at that point. So,
exactly. Yeah. May have to sand up or clean up a little bit on site, you know. We just have to stand on them when we get higher, you know, and stuff like that. Get the dirt off them. We'll probably power wash it one more time, you know.
So a conventional frame that you'd stud up, tip up the wall, sheathe it, and a week you've got the shell of the house all there.
Exactly.
But then you've got a lot. You guys are going back over and over and over.
That's right. Yeah.
Now you'll set up a staging here for the next time or so.
Yeah.
It'll be,
Yeah. Well, that probably for the next course or two, we'll operate off on ladders, and then we'll set up a stage. Yeah.
so that makes it a little more difficult, a little more time consuming.
Oh yeah,
the higher
slows you
up
down.
get.
Yeah. And when we get up there, 8 courses, we've got a floor joist system put in it.
So it gets locked in through.
Got 2 girders going across this way, and then all the floor joists will go this way. And then there's a 5-foot balcony where the logs extend out through the logs.
And that's your longer the 44-footer over
No,
there?
those over there are for the ridge and the purlins.
Oh.
Yeah. They're going to stick out beyond, let's see, building's 30, they put, yeah, going to be 5 feet on either end.
The gable ends of this will be a conventional frame?
Yeah, yeah.
The whole
tongue and-
roof is really conventional?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, it is. Yeah. But the rafters will set on top of those log purlins and ridge board.
Right.
Yeah. What they do is on top of our flat cuts, they'll put a piece of 3/4 strapping on top of that, and then that'll let them slide. Their floor joist will sit on that, and then that'll let them slide their tongue and groove pine up in over top of that flat of that log. See? Yeah. And the same thing when we go to set it on the deck, we'll set this whole building on 1-inch styrofoam. Believe it or not, that'll compress down to just about enough so you can slide 3/4 inch flooring underneath it.
So you don't have to do any scraping with the ends of the floor?
No. No.
That's a nice detail.
Yeah, yeah,
When you can do things that way.
yeah, yeah. Works out real well. Plus it compresses enough to make a nice air seal, you know, between the deck and
Now, if there has to be electrical outlets in the outside walls, do you drill some holes for root, or does that usually go up in the door jamb space? Or?
what we do depends on the electrician. The electrician that we have kind of likes to do it himself, and he just drills up from the bottom, and then he'll drill in from the face. And we create a little flat for him, you know what I mean? Just almost like the scarps, you know, just come in a little bit and create a little bit of a flat so he can put his box on there.
The thing is, avoid them in the outside walls whenever you can, anyway.
Exactly, exactly. I mean, you have to have a few for code, but other than that, or we could put them in the floor. We've done that before too. I did my first house. I put them all on the floor. Works out pretty well.
So, at what point will you cut an opening? Not
Fairly soon, because it's going to be too hard to get in.
It'll be easier to get in and out.
Yeah, there's 2 6-foot doors going right here, so we'll probably do that fairly soon.
But the 6-foot door does not involve the bottom piece?
Yeah,
It does.
Yeah, yeah. See, we won't go all the way down. We'll just cut enough. We'll maybe cut these 2 logs, just enough so we can get inside. That's all. Because what it does is, if you, it's just going to make that many more pieces to handle with the crane, you know,
Right.
swinging, you know.
Yeah.
You can do, you know, keep your pieces down to a minimum.
And when it's erected on site, you'll remove the final pieces.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that probably helps a little bit in the integrity of the building too.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Nothing, Tim.
What's your schedule on completion for erecting the get on site?
Erecting on site, I'd say probably, what we got?
First week of deer season?
Yeah, right.
Oh.
Well, 13, 14. We probably got another 16 days to 18 days of actual log wall work. It's going to have to take us a week to do the floor joist system, and it'll take us another week to do the ridge and purlins. So we got another month. We'll be close.
Do you have all the material here now?
I think I got one more load coming. Yeah. Yeah. Haven't talked with Fred lately, but I'm pretty sure he's got me one more load up there. He said 5 loads, and we've only got 4, so I'm assuming.
Well, that's great. It's good to see a use of
Rather than
Vermont
paper,
forest
huh?
products
Yeah.
here. And I mean, this is strictly Vermont. Hasn't left the state.
No, no.
The value added is remained right here.
Yep. For sure.
And you don't have any trademark symbol yet for things.
Not yet.
You got to come up with something.
Yeah, we
like
do.
that.
There's a guy in, I think he's out of Quebec or Montreal, somewhere in that area. His name is Pat Wolf, and he carves a wolf over top of the door. Yeah.
Well, it was commonplace. Many of the old houses that I worked on, the barns and things, and people have their initials carved up in the rafters someplace.
Yeah.
Or sometimes just written with a big carpenter's pencil.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem like anybody does that anymore.
No. You should, though.
But some of the quality of building takes place today. I don't think anybody would put their name on it.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it could be.
exactly. Yeah, for sure, too.
But these are time tested. It lasts for 500 years, I guess. So.
Yeah, yeah. They actually dug one up here, I think it was a couple years ago. It was below water. It was in a reservoir or something. It was over 500 years old. Still intact, too.
In North America?
Yeah.
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 Well, it's a great preservative things
Yeah.
that are underwater.
Yeah,
so.
sure. No, we're having it, too.
Well, I certainly appreciate your time
no problem.
with us here, and we'll visit with you again before too long, maybe
Yeah.
when
I'm doing the floor doors or something.
when you're setting the that, and also maybe on the final on site.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's something that a lot of people drive by often and see a log cabin,
Yeah.
but they don't know the particular
Exactly.
details of it.
Yep. There's a lot of work in it.
And you say this is number
12.
Number 12.
Yeah.
And next spring, is it? You're going to be teaching some things about.
Yeah.
So, and that is where, in northern Vermont?
Warren, Vermont. Yeah.
And what is that called? Is that?
It's a Yestermorrow school in Warren. And
Okay. Thanks a lot for
you're welcome.
showing us
Bud.
what you've done here so far, and we'll be visiting again real soon and talk about your future with schools and some other things.
We'll be here.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
He's quite a craftsman, I think.
Certainly is.
He's got a lot of patience, because I wouldn't take the time, but it wouldn't look like his mind.
He's an excellent mechanic with many things. I met him about 30 years ago when he was doing plumbing and heating, and he was an excellent mechanic doing that. He was doing jobs all by himself. They were probably 3-man jobs, but he could do them.
Well, it's fun to see people with patience and pride that want to do it right.
Yep.
And
Well,
we're
it's
going
a chestnut, so
Yes.
Did you-
First week in October, I believe. I'll let you guys know as soon as I know. And that'll be the fertilized nuts we'll be collecting and see what they look like.
Whoa, lucky me, look what I found. I found one of those snack bars that my cousins out in Yellowstone Park keep telling me about. They say these little green things with a black top, say they just got all sorts of good food in them. I gotta look down in here and see what all is available. I bet it's pretty good. Look, it smells good. I can see all and smell all sorts of things in there. Can't see a thing though, it's all, oh, there it is. Pay dirt, look at that, oh boy, lunchtime.
Well, here we are once again at the Williamson's farm in Shasbury, site of a chestnut tree. And a little over a year ago, we saw this tree being pollinated, and there were some viable seeds gathered last fall. This year we missed the pollinization, but now we're seeing the seeds being gathered. And we've got several people here that have been involved with this, and maybe they'll all introduce themselves and tell us what they're doing here.
Well, my name is Timothy McKechnie. I'm right now a graduate student at the University of Massachusetts, and About a month ago, I was hired by the American Chestnut Foundation as their science program coordinator. So this is a learning experience for me. I've never seen a tree as big as this, for example, an American chestnut anyway. And I've never seen people climb a tree like that, like this. But I think it's worth doing, because only by pollinating trees like this can you be sure of having the right genes in the progeny trees that you're trying to do the breeding work with.
I'm Michael Biddy. I'm a climber who helped pollinate and gather the nuts here. I think it's a fascinating project to be a part of.
Jack McGuy. I'm much like Michael Biddy. I helped pollinate this tree and picked the nuts on this one last year and this year.
John Williamson, I'm just here for the show.
Jim Williamson,
Your property, right?
property owner, yeah, just enjoying the entertainment here. Educational, I should say.
Well, we're going to be looking at all of the various things that it's taken place today. Going to check out some of the nuts, see if we can't find a good one out of potential maybe 2,000.
I'm putting what's called a cambium saver in. It prevents what does it prevent? It prevents something or other. It actually I don't know if I've done it right, but the idea is to prevent the rope from braiding the bark where it goes over. It's one of those 8th grade math tests, though, whether you can get it right or not.
Oops. It really is a straight thing.
It doesn't look so straight when you get up there. You're way out over the tarp when you're up in the top.
Yeah, it has a tendency to tip towards the morning sun, so to speak.
Yeah, huh?
Are you familiar with the whole story of this? And for Sir Williamson, are there any other trees around at all?
Not that we've discovered yet. We didn't even know this was a chestnut until 3 or 4 years ago. We just happened onto it by accident. We found the burrs. That's how we discovered it. I think we should go around and finish it again.
Jerome. Jerome. Come here. Sit.
Next stretch is, whoa, that's a serious stretch here.
It's only one tie off.
Jerome. Sit down. Sit.
What's that? Coffee about halfway up. Yeah, that'd be nice.
Do you want me to hold that up in the air a little bit?
So what is the other end of the road?
I think that's all right.
What's that?
Pretty good. Is that okay, Michael? Is that tension good?
We got it tied off to one of the nut clusters up there.
Oh, you really gotta. How much do you weigh, Mike?
205. This is a easy way up compared to the other one. This is dragging it a bit more. Yeah. They used to take a deer stand up a rope.
You're pretty sure about that limb up there.
Yeah, there's a few holes. There's a lot right to your right there.
sucker?
Are you kidding me?
They're not fussy, I guess.
Wow. Just this first year, Mike?
What's that?
First year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you do, is it a sign of weakness?
No.
They don't, sapphire goes after.
Right.
They don't.
tend to keep repeating on the same
Oh, I
place.
see. Right.
He's gonna break. Jack. Man, they don't look too bad.
We use those to, to pull the branches into us so that we can get the nuts off.
So actually, both of you will be up there.
Yeah.
Okay.
When we were up there in the spring, we used them to pull the flowers over to us and pollinate them, and then put the bag on, send them out. Now we'll pull them in, pull the bag off, back out, throw the bag down.
Oh, yeah. No, we have to buy it. Buy the gin if you want. You don't buy the gin if you want. But
Try on there, Mike. Here we go.
Thank you.
The only thing who cares about it is you guys. You ever make sense to you?
Jack, look up a minute.
All right. Thank you.
Big new monkey up there.
Anybody over this way?
Go ahead. You're off that. Okay, I'm going to drop one. And it's from there's two sides to this tree in terms of controls. Okay, this is from the side of the tree that I'm in. See?
Jerome.
Yep.
Jerome, come here.
Mike, what do you want to do? Start two piles?
Yeah, you want two piles, because Jack's is different than mine. It's a different pollen.
Which side of the trees, like north and south?
There's 2 liters. The one that's just below Jack's buttocks is 1 liter, and then the one that I'm in
that the rope is in is the other one.
Why do you say north and south then?
Well, that'll work for me. I think it might be east and west. But
What do I have here?
this is west.
This is west? Okay, I'll put the west ones in here. No, this is home.
That one looks okay. The ones you got off the
What do you think happened?
were full of holes.
That isn't a very big nut. It's a little bitty thing. So did they get any viable ones?
Yeah, we opened up one down there, and it had, out of the 3 nuts, there was one that was good.
Look at that little bitty thing. Were they that size?
No, it's huge. That was that big around.
Oh, look at the nutso. Huh? Isn't that strange?
Did they come out in the bag?
Yeah, but they didn't come out of that. See them?
Oh, it looks
No.
good.
Well, one is. Where did it come from? It came out of...
No.
Didn't come out of that.
No, probably not. Well,
Well, we were leaving them in there. But that's...
Can we see them?
Yeah.
You gotta tip it more.
one of them's good.
One of them's good. And maybe...
That one's good.
Yeah, that was good. But where did it come from?
There's an east. Go.
Whoa!
Sit down, big. What? Sit. Sit. Come on, sit.
Garbage. West. Go. Well, they're beside you, Claude, somewhere. That's pretty much. Yeah, that's
What, the nut?
No, it's not just dropped there beside you somewhere.
This was the east.
Yeah.
No, one nut is right here.
You saw a nut drop?
We've had some problems now. Yeah.
East. Go. East. Push. Right behind you. 2 east. 1, 2 east.
Okay. Hit puddle. The first one was an east, and what was that northeast?
Okay, I see him.
Dern and I had bags from last year. We just counting. I know they're talking last.
Hey, Jack, can you see that sapsucker hole? Can
Yeah, I meant to tell you, I did see some from the previous year, too. It wasn't just this year.
Same location?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right next to the current year.
Is this something you can reach? Well, Tim, he was talking about putting mud in it.
What's that?
He went to get a bucket. He thought maybe you could put some mud in it.
Keep them from...
He said there's something in the soil that kills the bacteria,
Huh.
or whatever it is. The light.
Do you want Michael to wait till he comes down?
Yeah,
Hey,
that's
Michael.
what.
Yeah.
Hold on, we've got a project for you.
What's that?
He went.
Putting some mud in the sapsucker holes on the way down.
What do you want to do?
Put mud in them.
Why?
I don't know.
What's that supposed to do?
It's.
Stop the blight from growing.
Oh, watch it, loose pull.
Sorry.
Soil-borne fungus is in the mud.
He's coming right back, Mike. You want to talk to him about it?
It's much more tedious putting them on than getting them on, so...
There's a lot of bags came down.
had the blight on them. And he had never seen blight in the roots before, and so he deduced that it was the soil itself that was protecting the roots.
Oh, okay.
And they also did an experiment. They knew that, ordinary living mud works. So if you take that same mud and autoclave it, sterilize it, it doesn't work anymore. So it's something alive in the mud.
Other way. Yep. What Timothy said about it? What Timothy said about it? That it controls the blight. And since that's a big risk, what's that? Well, I'm not sure I do either, but it seems to work.
Oh, here's the bucket.
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, I've got it now. I've got both ends. It would make sense. It would make sense to put on any wounds of any sort, right? Like
Yeah.
There are a few little broken branches there as well.
That'd be great.
Yeah. You can put them on the broken branches as well. Several places. It was up in the top, up in the canopy, as well as, say, halfway up by those the first dead branch there coming over.
Yeah, they're setting it up so the two geneticists down in Virginia are setting it up so we could potentially combine the offspring from this tree from Massachusetts work. We don't know for sure what we're going to do yet, but it's always nice to have the option.
Fertilizing these trees is just to get a broader genetic background, broader sort of progeny for the successful, mostly American, slightly Chinese tree that you're going to finally have.
Yeah,
Rather than just have a really one
exactly.
tree, you want to have a bunch of different ones that are all
Yeah, we're aiming for a real population of wild trees.
right with this tiny little bit of
and you've
Chinese.
got it. It's not an option. With these trees, it's not an option.
To just have one.
Yeah, you have to have a bunch of trees that are unrelated,
Oh,
or else it just won't work.
Oh, I see. They won't pollinate each other.
That's part of it. But also, you have with all wind pollinated trees, you have a high proportion of deleterious recessive genes. So even though the mother tree looks good, its offspring, if it crossed itself or if it crossed a sister tree, like a brother-sister mating,
Right.
you'd have a scrawny offspring, almost for sure.
That's right. How many trees like this are being fertilized and harvested?
Well, we have to do 20 as a minimum.
Uh-huh.
And once you have 20, then you can do 10 crosses, pairs of 2 crosses. But the more the better, to a certain extent.
I would think that the broader in the range you get, too, the better, isn't it?
Oh, not necessarily,
Really?
because there may be a virtue in staying pretty local, because the trees may be adapted to a certain climate, or
Right.
or day length, or whatever.
That's right. So if you had the
soil.
resources to do, separate programs for different parts of the range, then you could grow a specific group of trees for that,
Exactly. Yeah.
for each one.
Yeah. In fact, that's
Are you doing that?
That's exactly what I said in the last grant.
Uh-huh.
Well, it's the only grant that I worked on. But yeah, I was arguing that if we had a little more money, we'd get to do more of that regional stuff.
Yeah. How big is the range?
Well, it's from northern Alabama to southern
Wow.
Maine.
Yeah, that must be really different adaptations.
Well, the pollen here last year came from Maine and Virginia, I believe.
It all comes from Virginia, right? But we, I mean, it's genetic material that is from different places, maybe.
Well, but last year and a half ago, or a year
right.
ago last July, somebody the previous day had obtained some in Maine.
Yeah.
I'm almost sure.
Wow.
Yeah, they could have brought some American down from Maine to make some American nuts, and then you can plant those pure Americans in a convenient place where they'll grow fast, and you can
Cross them with the Chinese then.
yeah, and then you can bring research pollen to them
Right.
in your backyard or wherever.
So there are two different pollens
That could
this
have
year.
been the idea.
What was the difference in those?
I don't know. I didn't expect there to be two kinds of pollen. Nobody told me about it.
Well, good thing we said that. We put one on each of the two
Good thing.
stems.
What about the brattleboro tree? Was that?
I think that was one. Hey, Michael, do you remember if we had more than one pollen for the Brattleboro tree?
No, we didn't. One kind of pollen came in one bag, I believe.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Wasn't it in a vial?
It was in a vial. That's right, and we separated it.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
that's difficult
Yeah, it was.
working with that.
Yeah, it was fussy. But we got black pipe cleaners, and we could see the stuff on the black pipe
Oh, really?
cleaners, which worked great. Yeah.
Good idea.
Well, in the description it said something about using pipe cleaners, I believe. And then we were having trouble finding them. We drove around to a lot of different stores, and we ended up in a place that was like a craft shop and had 50 different colors of pipe cleaners. So.
That's good.
But those are typical of what the inside would look like, but these are not the fertile nuts. They're a lot smaller and
Right, there you can just squish them right down. There's nothing.
Yeah, if you cut those open, you just see hair inside there.
Hair and
Hey, make it out, Mike.
vestigial
Turn this glove into a left.
something or other. Seeds. Vestigial germ.
I don't want to put a rubber glove on it.
Do you want another glove?
last year this tree produced, was it
9
9?
nuts. I hope we got better than that this year.
We saw one for sure, I think. But I mean, we didn't
Open them all.
look up there.
Yeah. Well, I'll look forward to hear how many there were.
And they're estimated what, between like 500 to perhaps 1,000 actual nuts on this tree.
That'd be worth looking at. I was thinking of just going around and trying to count the
Oh, the number of
birds.
birds.
The birds, you know.
Sounds about right. Judging from the.
But is that they're always triple? I'm sure there's a few maybe odd ones, but generally it's 3.
Yeah, generally, yep.
I'm sure we're a lot more flowers than that on each stem.
It's odd that it's so prickly, you know, up until the last minute, and then it opens wide, and anything can eat it.
Yeah.
Almost like it doesn't matter whether they get eaten at that point.
Highly protected, and then they're like a diner.
Michael, let me pull our ropes out of the way.
Well, is that part of their course of nature, is to be eaten and deposited? And, I mean,
Yeah, maybe, like if a bear would swallow some whole,
yeah, that's
it
what I
would
was,
poop it out.
that's just part of their nature.
Well, I've got an idea about that. I mean, if they opened up, if they weren't protected at all, then whoever's eating the nuts would have a much longer period to eat them. And this way, they sort of all open up at once, and they get
Belly full.
30%. But there's so many all at once
Yeah.
that enough of them get lost and taken off, half-eaten and left, and a little peck in them and left, and so it's whoever's eating them gets gorged and kind of gives up and leaves a few. It works.
Right.
Could work that way.
But if this occurrence were in a chestnut woods of 100 years ago, how many fertile nuts would be on this tree? A lot more than,
Yeah, practically all of them,
Yeah.
probably.
yeah. So, I mean, statistically, what this tree is doing now is very minimal.
Yeah,
compared
we
to
didn't
a-
get to most of the flowers
It's
either.
an immature
Just
tree,
the
too.
convenient
Yeah.
ones.
Right. But I mean, if you had a large mature tree 100 years ago, had, to use a number 1,000 burrs on it that would have had 800 fertile ones, and there were 20 of those trees per acre, there's a lot of
Yeah,
there's
that's
a lot of seed source. Because certainly the acorns, which must be a lot more numerous, but doesn't seem to be any problem for them to escape a few of them, or beech nuts or whatever. We're overrun with them without having to worry about planting them.
I guess one way of looking at it is that the mature tree only had to reproduce itself with one new tree over the entire course of its lifetime. So 100 years or whatever.
Yeah, but isn't nature's course to populate, spread?
Yeah,
I mean,
it had
everything
that-
is spread. I mean, these
Yeah.
don't spread by the wind. I mean, some trees like a maple cane will spin to another area and try to take. You know what I'm saying?
If it had to
But-
reproduce one tree that would come to a climax forest stage or whatever.
For stability.
But in order to do that,
in
it
order,
had to
in order to
create
spread, it has to do better than that.
several hundred at least, I would think.
You know, one scientist thinks that these trees survived during the Ice Age, way out on the continental shelf, because the ocean was lower then, and there were actually trees out there. And when the ice melted, the trees came back.
And it was warmer there, I suppose, next to the water.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
But this is a type of seed that can float to travel, too.
It can? I don't know.
I would think. I mean, it's woody. It's
Might not do well in the
overly
salt, though.
dense. No, not in salt, but I mean,
Yeah.
just a way of traveling.
We
here,
can test it.
Floating downstream.
We'll have to test that, yeah. The bear floats.
Well, all those hundreds a lot better chance for selection, natural selection to take place, and really reducing the chances of that right now until they get planted out and start to do well again. I mean, you're talking about 20 trees. That's such a minuscule.
This will be a big challenge, getting the trees started with all the deer
Mm-hmm.
out in the woods. Tree tubes aren't enough.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
There has to be some other way.
eating the tops, you mean?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And it really affects the tree, you know, just nipping the terminal bud once. The tree decides, oh, I'm going to be an orchard tree now. Giving up that tactic.
For a while.
If
Yeah.
if a burr with the seed inside of it, good seed, if that were buried, I mean, say rolled into a spot where a tree had tipped over, will it grow from inside the burr, or does the burr have to open?
I don't know that. I would expect it would.
It would have to be open.
Oh no,
Or
I would
else it
expect
would
that it
grow from
can.
being closed.
Yeah. But you have to wonder, I mean, the nuts taste so good. I actually had a couple this year. I couldn't use them for anything else because they were open pollinated with, you know, hybrid trees we didn't want. But they're great, and you have to wonder why. You know, there must probably a reason for that. Why the nuts taste so good, and the reason would be so the squirrels eat them, so the bears go after them. So I think there must be some sort of selective advantage
Well, there's always
to
the
having all those. Like John, right? You were saying the bears could eat them, swallow them whole, and poop them out.
If a cow eats hard corn, it goes right straight through the system and it gets plopped in the pasture, and a cow pie, it's got the fertilizer, and it's just there
Yeah.
it grows. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Do bears ever hoard food? Like squirrels? 'Cause that could be another way of doing it.
That's what I was thinking. The squirrel goes and buries
bears
some,
sure.
gets back to most of their caches, but forgets some of them.
Yeah.
A great way of spreading seed around.
Yeah.
It's kind of big for a bird, but I don't know if a bird would pick up a nut that big with it.
But Jim was saying blue jays will move acorns really,
Will they?
go all over with it. So,
Passenger pigeons. How about that? I could have been spreading them a lot.
Hmm.
You look at the map and you see sort of a pattern along river valleys going north-south, Hudson, Connecticut.
Pattern of these trees.
Yeah. And imagine didn't the passenger pigeons follow river valleys?
well, it's one thing for sure that they did travel. It came to this country, or was it native in this country?
The pigeon?
No, the chestnut,
Yeah.
the American chestnut.
Yeah.
But then there's other chestnuts in other continents, right, that are different,
Yeah.
which is what you're working with now,
Chinese, mostly.
mostly Chinese.
Yeah, is there a Mediterranean one too?
The European.
Is that the
European?
European?
Uh-huh.
Did you? What was that thought of as something to use? Try it out.
It's not very resistant.
Oh, I see.
It's a little bit better than American, but
Mm-hmm.
not good enough.
How did it taste compared to the chestnuts you can buy in the store these days?
Well,
I
actually,
guess they're European.
I can't say that it was much different.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely better than the Japanese,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a little bit better than the Chinese. But we had some hybrids there that were European is what you see in the stores mostly,
Yeah.
actually. And those are pretty good.
Yeah.
The Americans peeled really easily.
Ah, I like
They
that.
had a really thick, like brown layer.
But the hair layer underneath came with it.
The hair, yeah, it came right off.
Oh, that's
it was
great.
easy to peel.
That's great.
Raw. You didn't have to.
Wow. That's what I hate about
Roasted or
doing
boiled.
chestnuts, cooking chestnuts. You just get little pieces of the skin under my nails and stuff.
Yeah.
Said they used to pasture hogs, feed on those nuts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I read that somewhere. Appalachian. They turn their hogs loose in the forest in the fall and let them fatten on chestnuts.
Right.
Must have been a lot of them.
Right, and watch, well, what they do with the birds, they must have those tender little snouts.
Yeah. Well, don't they even sell in France
Certain time, though,
geese
after,
Yeah.
fattened on chestnuts?
Oh, yeah, open up.
It's supposed to be a special delicacy.
Oh, yeah.
Something like
We
that.
need some of these that have been here. It's really neat.
He said there was an uprooted chestnut tree that somebody saw and saw the blight growing in the roots, which he hadn't seen before, and just speculated that it was the presence of the dirt, something in the dirt, that keeps the roots from getting the blight.
Oh, okay.
And they already knew about the sapsucker treatment, right? That was an older
Putting fresh mud on it, yeah.
on
Sure.
sapsucker holes.
And what kind of a tree?
Well, on chestnuts.
Not chestnuts. Because I always thought that the damage on sapsuckers was through the interruption of the sap flow. Usually they're so extensive that they, like on a mountain ash or birds, the damage would be so extensive, this physical damage. The tree, is affected with girdles,
Well, yeah.
which is not what was
The
happening
mud
here.
won't help out, it's true.
The music. Good idea. I can sing if you want.
Try turning it on. Mighty manly hunting men, all American males. Once a year we leave our homes to hit the hunt. hunting trail. We pack up the pickup with guns and pork and beans. Lots of fine paper and girly magazines. We hit the ruts in four-wheel drive, then we grab a beer. By the time we get to camp, we're into flower gear. We sit around that campfire and run this with each other. Here, take this one. I got one here. Thank you. I have one. I got one here. Oh, you got me wet.
We're getting slow. Help me.
Or maybe it's a bear, but just another hunter passing through the air. Sitting in that deer blind, you know what freedom is. You don't have to go and hide just to take a whiff. Just stand out in the open, drop pictures in the snow. Wear that single underwear for 2 weeks in a row. Hunting is a manly thing, girls don't understand. We're the men, the hunters, the masters of the land.
Well, Lucky, I told you we don't have anything to worry about this hunting season.
I think you're right, silly guys. What can I say? Let's go tell the other guys too. This is good.
Yeah, don't have to worry about any of our friends getting away this summer. I think it's time we get out of here.
We are climbing in the strong mahogany ridge, right next to the rooftop, the peanuts and bridge. Old flop bucks all gather round, snorting shots and beers, watching owls bunching up, chase